Alrighty, old gatekeeper here, Mr. Yeager. Here is your candy painted dripping grape jelly 3-pill. All done and ready. Had a couple small hurdles I had to get through to get done with the build. They were cosmetic hurdles. Basically just a quick overview. A buddy of mine, give a shout out to my buddy out there in the Florida area, and he knows who he is. Basically, I gave him the dimensions for the 3-pill CBS box that I normally use for 2 pills, sometimes 3 pills. I normally like to build a 3-pill in a 5-pill case, 4-pill, 5-pill case, but sometimes I'll do a 3-pill in the CBS-3 case. So basically, I gave him the dimensions. My buddy Mr. Lawnmower man out there around the Florida area, and so he constructed up 4 or 5 cases for me. He had never really bent a case like this before, and this was about 2 years ago, I think, about 2 years or so. But anyway, I took the cases over to my painter and got them painted, and we also were going to use them for color. Pretty much painted all 5, I think it was 4 or 5 of them. Pretty much the main colors that I thought that would be popular, I'd be using them, and pretty much did a little number pattern so we could know, like, as you can see, that's number 1. And then 2 was blue, and so on. And so anyway, I did a little sale with them. I think I showed pictures of all 4 cases, 4 or 5 cases. I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 now. I want to say it was 4, but it could have been 5. But anyway, I ran a little sale and sent pictures of them. I think I posted on my Facebook or something back then, and you know, ran a little discounted sale there. And Mr. Yeager, he ate up the old purple one right here, and my buddy Eric got a beautiful blue one, and another guy got another baby blue one, and I don't think the other one's sold, so I can use them for something in the future. But basically, as you can see, the box don't have lips in it for the board to sit down in, like the regular CBS-3 that I normally use, which come from ICA. So I had to bolt them in, as you see here. So no problem at all. So I had to mount the board in a little differently. And after all that was said and done, I put the actual mount of the board in, and just did not foresee it that the stream relief was in the way of the relay back here. So I had to actually trim up the string relief to get the relay to fit in. And then after that, I guess my buddy Lawnmower man didn't know that these were 92mm holes, so he had drilled the fan out, the fan hole out for 80mm, and I didn't even know that until I was putting the fan on here when I got done with the box. And then I was like, you know, figured out pretty quickly that the fan hole was a little too small. So I had to re-drill the fan hole out and everything, and so there was a couple of cosmetic hurdles, you know, but it all came together just fine, and it turned out great. It's working great. It's a beautiful amp, man. And I've got a neat little feature right here on this switch, which I will show you at the end when I get the top on. But basically, we've got an all Toshiba 2290 driving 2 2879s. These are some new old stock Toshibas I've been holding on to probably for about 5 or 6 years now. I think these came from some of the first Toshibas I ever purchased back when I Well, actually, they're older than that. They're probably 6. Well, they're old. I'm talking about when I bought them. It might have been close to 6 or 7 years ago. I still got a couple 2290s and Motorola's and stuff like that. Transistors I bought way when I just got into the hobby. But so I decided to use them with this build, and they're all non-dots. So let's get on with the show. Got you the preamp in there, bud, with the invert circuits. You can use the preamp with the box off. The only thing that I have not been able to do that you requested is, y'all know you wanted some green LED internal lights, and I ordered them before Christmas and they still have not got here. That's just not a common color that I use, so I just didn't have any in stock over here. So I don't know, hopefully they'll get here before I ship the box out and I can put them in here for you, man. If not, I might just have to send them up there to you if it's real important to you. It would be pretty cool to get some shine coming up on the fan grill there. Alright, so we're going to be using the bench radio first. Okay, I'm hooked up on the old servo supply right now. I'm just going to key it up on there first, and then we'll hook it up on the 100 amp supply on the medium tap. This thing's getting up and going, man, even on the servo supply. And I usually just use this supply for testing and references and such. So anyway, your pass through is absolutely perfect. It does not get any more perfect than this. Here's your pass through. Oh, oh, oh. You can't even hardly see any movement there. And that is passing through the preamp circuit and everything. Alright. Variable is all the way up. Alright, we're on the 4 watt radio, 4 watts RMS, which it peaks about 18-20 watts peak. 1000 watt slug. Oh dear. Oh, almost 200 bird. PP. Right there, 500 watts. What's this thing talking though when you get on the ball with it? Oh, right there about 500. Old gatekeeper letting the mop flop. Getting down, getting down. This thing's stroking, man. That's just on the dang servo supply, man. Let's give this thing some good power. I know it's hungry. There's the back of it. Here's your sideband switch back there in the back. I couldn't even remember if you needed a sideband switch or not, but I still like to add them just in case somebody wants to go over the sideband. And the back was kind of configured a little odd, a little differently than the normal boxes are, so I just had to make do and do the best I could where the holes are already pre-drilled. And this is your mystery switch, which I'll tell you what that is after I get the top on it. Alright, let me press pause. So I gotta hook up the 100 amp supply over here, so I'll be right back. Alright, brother, we're on the 100 amp unregulated supply. That's the only change I've made so far. You're going to see a little bit more output now because this thing's going to be on a little bit more voltage. It's dropping to about 15.5. Then we're going to hook up the hot radio and see what she's doing with a little bit more drive. Alright, RMS. Should be doing about 200. Oh, yeah, a little bit over 200. PDP, yeah, 650 watts, man. Right there along with what a 3-pill normally does on my bench. So let's go ahead and unhook the bench radio, give this thing just a little bit more drive. I'm going to point out to you too, bud, that I do have a little bit of attenuation hooked up on here, which I normally like to do with my 3-pills just to kind of keep them safe. Some people like the dead key, high wattage, and you know, with a high dead key in in their 3-pills, man, and they blow them up. really, with a 3-pill with a 2290, we always have to back down the circuit just a tad bit. We don't want that 2290 going absolutely full bore into the 2879. That 2290 can get up 200 watts, man. You know, even more if you did the circuit just right and drive the heck out of it. But I've got a 47 ohm resistor on here. Okay, I could change that down to a 22 ohm. And like, for example, as you saw just then, that was doing about 220 bird, right? Correct? The variable's all the way up. If there was a 22 ohm resistor on there, it probably would have been doing close to 260, maybe even close to working its way up to 300 bird just then. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. Of course, you can get the same result driving a little bit harder. That's what the attenuation does. But I've had real good luck with putting 47 ohm resistors on my 3-pills. And I've got quite a few of them out there right now. Because, you know, once somebody does get a little bit high of a dead key. Now, the only time you might have an issue if you're running a super low dead key, then you might not have a dead key. You know, so you might have to turn your dead key up a little bit. But I like to be safe and sorry. Let's just put it that way. I like to be safe and sorry when it comes to certain circuits, you know, and you just kind of go with what you feel and go with what's worked real good for you in the past. Alright, so we got the hot radio hooked up now, so we're now going to be driving 8 watts RMS into it. Go ahead and turn that box. I need to get into bed, man. This is New Year's. Now it's New Year's. And it is almost 4:30 in the morning, I think it is. Let me make sure I got everything hooked up right here before I start keying. Oh, yeah. Alright, everything's hooked up right. We're just going to check out the RMS. See if she comes up a little bit. 1,000 watt slug. Boom. Look at that. 300 bird. That's right there where we want to see her. Boom. And that's dropping 15.4 volts. 15.2 volts. Boom. Yeah, 15.2 volts. Oh, yep, 300 bird, 15.2 volts. There she goes, big brother. As long as I can get 300 bird out of a 3-pill with a hot radio, I'm good to go. And like I said, man, you know, I could drop that down to 22 ohms or 4.7 ohms, you know, get kind of crazy with it. You'd see, you know, I've got 400 bird out of 3-pills before in the past. You know, that's how you can get them out of it. You know, if I hooked up my D-rail radio right now, this thing would be doing 400 bird, no problem. But there ain't no reason doing all that. This is a new build, man. I ain't gonna get in here keying, overdriving the piss out of your box for you, man. I'm ready to get this top on here and get the screws in it and show you what this mystery switch right here is for. Turned out good, man. It's a pretty little box. Doubled up on dual 10 gauges on this bad boy to kind of fill up the room for the string release. I kind of had to work with what was already there. And there were some holes there. Too big to put smaller string release in there, and excuse me, too small. It's too small for one and too big for another, so I had to roll with these string release right here. So I just doubled up and went with dual 10s right there to even up the current and everything. So, and here's your preamp with invert. You can hear it keying up. Well, wrong radio. There we go. I am keying now. Unkeying. Keying. Unkeying. See, that is the invert circuit bypassing the preamp, so you can run the preamp with the amp off and not hurt the preamp, not key through it. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and mount the top on this bad boy, and we'll do one more quick short clip after that, and we'll be done. Alright, here she is, all finished. kind of hard to see what kind of fan grill that is because there is no light inside there. Normally when I have a fan grill like this, I got some light inside the box so you can kind of see what it is, but basically it is a skull. Look at that. That's nice. I always thought one of these days about drilling little holes in the eyes and putting some red LEDs whenever you transmit. They come on. Basically, man, this right here is a fan. It's a computer fan, which majority of the fans we use are computer fans. They're kind of primarily made with case modding for computers in mind. But there's a unique piece of circuitry of the fan that I learned about not too long ago. And normally 9 times out of 10 somebody would grab this fan and hook it up, and this is what they would get, and they wouldn't think much of it. They'd just be like, well, this is as fast as it spins. But basically it's set up for the computer to control the RPMs of it internally. But basically you can do a small modification to it and basically get the full performance out of the fan. See, I've got quite a few of these fans, and I mean, they're thick fans, 92mm fans. I remember I hooked my first one up one time. I'm like, why is this fan spinning so slow? It's a high amperage fan. What's up with this? You know, and then I finally figured it out. So basically, you got your turbo switch for the fan here, man. Yeah, it's loud. It is loud, but I don't know where you'll be running this amp at. You might be running the amp at a place where that won't bother you. And boy, it will keep this 3-pill cool, I can promise you that. And let's see if I can't demonstrate how much air that little fan is pushing. So I mean, it's got some, you know, air coming out of it now, but I kind of want to see what that does. Yeah, that's the difference right there. It's about levitating that dang piece of paper. Yeah, it's pushing some air, no doubt about it. It's just a major suck down, boy. Look at that. Dog, yeah. Alrighty. Well, there she goes, man. There's your dripping grape jelly 3-pill, made out of a Homebrew case, bent by my buddy Lawnmower man. Got you some good long power wires here, man. Got them already soldered up to put some Andersons on there if that's what you're wanting to do. Yeah, I can't forget, I can't believe I completely forgot to mention grape jelly, dripping grape jelly with metal flake. And boy, you ought to see what this looks like in the dang sunlight. It is magnificent, man. Magnificent. House of Color candy with metal flake. It's amazing. another thing that he done different, Mr. Lawnmower Man, is normally the portholes are on this side of the ICAs. And because of me just knowing that in my head, since I built so many of them in that case, I put the fan on there with a grill on there backwards, and had to turn it around. There's the other side of it right there. Boy, that's beautiful. So there you go, buddy.